about approximately 8 hours online. That's 7 hours 51 minutes online, which is fair enough, because the maximum time you can do online on Uber is just 12 hours. And me lately, like I said in the previous video, I've been trying to like tune it down. I don't want to be doing, completing that 12 hours, because anytime I complete 12 hours online driving, I always go home feeling very exhausted. Like my energy level will just be so low. When I get home, I only think of just taking my shower and just sleeping. What's up, YouTube? What's up, all the wonderful drivers? You guys are welcome to the Driverpreneur channel. Yes, and in today's video, I want to be analyzing and breaking down my weekly earning, my week earning. Should I say weekly, or just I'll be analyzing just last week earning? But ideally, this has been like my earning consistently for the past few weeks, despite no surge. And I just want to share my dashboard, and share some interesting things I observed about driving for the past few weeks. And probably you could learn one or two things from this video, and probably make a conclusion for yourself if it's still worth you driving ride sharing in 2022. This is already the last quarter of the year, so I believe this video will help you, give you an idea of if you are intending to be a part-time driver, to drive and probably sort some bills, or to convert your vehicle to a ride-sharing car where you can earn little money on the side while you do your other businesses, or while you do your normal job. So without wasting time, I'll be sharing my dashboard and explaining everything that happened in the week, and so you can learn from this video. So let's head into today's video straight up. Yes, what's up, fam? What's happening, YouTube? I do get a lot of questions. This particular question that is driving ride sharing worth it in the year 2022? I have a job that I'm not really satisfied with. I'm thinking of quitting my job to drive ride share full time. Or the other day, I had a passenger in my car who was a subscriber. It was a big coincidence. I was very surprised to see a subscriber to the channel, being my passenger. Very fresh guy, man. I don't did it fresh like that. When I put me through, the guy was my passenger, and it was like he has a job that he does currently, and he's planning on getting a car to do ride sharing with, because the job is required for him to just work just 3 times a week, 3 days in a week rather. So he's planning on doing ride sharing and drive on his free days, probably like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days in a week, to add to the 3 days that he works in a week. It's not a bad way to passively earn money with an asset, which is a car, or a liability, which is a car. It's like turning your liability into an asset when you drive your car for ride sharing. So let's just look into last week earning. That was from 3rd of October to just yesterday, which is 10th of October. So as you can see from my dashboard here, I earned a total of 124,787 naira, after commission. And so I'll be talking of how I was able to make this amount in just 1 week, despite the fact that this is October, it's not yet peak season. We had this surge. We only manage some of the little promotions this ride sharing app offer us. And Uber for me lately has been offering the most juicy ride sharing promotions. Like, they do reduce commission when you complete 10 trips in a week. The rest of the week you only get to pay 5%, as against the 20% they currently charge. I think that's very fantastic. So you get to keep 95% of the fare for each trip you complete. So, and also they are running this other promotion that is also very good. After you complete 4 trips from 5 p.m. on weekdays, you get 1,500 naira after completing 4 trips, and then you get 500 naira on each trip you complete for 4 trips. So when you complete 4 trips, you get 500 naira added to those trips. I think those are also very fantastic promotion, if you ask me. So I think those were part of why my earning was this good, because I was on 5% commission. I completed that 10 trips. I always try to complete the 10 trips on the first working day. So if you see from my earnings here, I make sure I did 10 trips that particular Monday. And then I did just about approximately 8 hours online. That's 7 hours 51 minutes online, which is fair enough, because the maximum time you can do online on Uber is just 12 hours. And me lately, like I said in the previous video, I've been trying to like tune it down. I don't want to be doing completing that 12 hours, because anytime I complete 12 hours online driving, I always go home feeling very exhausted. Like my energy level will just be so low. When I get home, I only think of just taking my shower and just sleeping. But now that I do lesser than that 12 hours, I go home, I still feel energized. I can still do other things, create some flyers, get creative, apply my acquired skills to good use, and be productive in other aspects of life. Like if you see for Monday, for instance, on Monday I did 17,251 naira, and I did just 7 hours 51 minutes and 10 trips. Reasonable. At this point I was paying 20% to Uber. On a Tuesday I averaged the same thing. I got 7 hours 51 minutes. I did just 6 trips. But it's not like I was lazy, because sometimes you may do a shorter number of trips but cover a longer distance in kilometer. Maybe you are getting trips that take you further, like you're doing longer distance trip, like airport to VI to Songo Tedu and the likes. But meanwhile, some days you can just do short trips. You do more trips and even make lesser money. On Wednesday I did 18,050 naira, which is a very good example of you doing longer distance trips and making more money. So I did just 6 trips and I made this. Then on a Thursday, what happened? Why did I do longer time? If you see, on Thursday I did over almost 9 hours online as against the previous days, and I did almost relatively what I did the other days, like just slightly below what I did the other days. And this is because I made a mistake. I took a trip to a part of town that I wouldn't advise you to take a trip to, especially on weekdays after the rush hour. So I did a trip to somewhere around Abulegba AIT Access, and it was around midday. I took that trip around 11 o'clock or thereabouts in the morning. And when I got to that axis of town, I waited for a while. I didn't get a trip. I had to drive all the way from that axis down to somewhere close to Ikeja before I could get the trip. So there are some part of town when you go to at some particular time of the day, it's very difficult for you to get a trip. And this is because probably everybody walking around that area, because weekdays now everybody wants to go to work. So people working in this axis has probably gone to work, and then just little riders are left in those places. So it's always good for you to plan your day and plan the routes you choose where to take trips to. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to do that with Uber, because Uber do not show you destination to where you are heading to. So you are like just picking trips blindly. But sometimes if I am seeing that, if I go to a pickup point and I ask the rider, please, where are you heading to, and the person tells me somewhere that is totally off town, I will decline and cancel that trip. And this is appeal to Uber. Uber, but more than the shortest destination now. We've tried now for how many years now? You guys are still don't show us destination. Meanwhile, in the United States and some other countries, you guys show them destination. What is good for the goose is definitely good for the gander. So on to the next day, which is on Friday. Yes, of course, Friday I did 22,000 plus. Compared to other days, I was in about 17,000, and I did 18,000 one of those days. Friday, the reason why I did this much, one, I spent more time online. If you see, I did 10 hours plus online. And why was that? I noticed there were little patches of surge. I did 11 trips, so I just decided to like, okay, let me just stay online today and do the whole Friday movement, because there was a lot of movement on Friday. I was moving, getting trips back to back, so that made me stay online longer than average what I did in previous days of the week. On Saturday, not too different. On Saturday was even better. A lot of events. The roads were a bit freer. Surprisingly, the roads were free. So if you notice, I even did less than 7 hours online. I did 6 hours 45 minutes online, and I did just 8 trips, but I made 21,000 plus. This is because Saturdays, there's a lot of movement. There's a lot of movement. People want to go to shopping. People want to, go stock up their homes. People go to events, a lot of events in town and all those kind of things. People are, having a good time. That's why Friday, Saturday, sometimes you make more. On Sunday, I did just 10,000 naira here on Sunday with just 4 trips, and I did just 3 hours online. But there's a twist to this Sunday. On this Sunday, I had an offline trip. There's one of my somebody that stay around my neighborhood. The guy knows I do Uber. He knows I'm a transport. He just made contact with me that, guy, I beg, I want to do some run around with my mom to Ikorodu part of town. So I told him, Mama, Ikorodu from here, go come at 10,000 though. If you're ready to pay, fine, I'll close my normal ride sharing app, work, and then come pick you. And the guy said, no problem. So on this Sunday, I ought to have made higher than this 10,000, but for the fact that I did an offline trip, so if I add that 10k to this 10,000, so I did about 20,000 naira on this Sunday. So everything summed up to me making about 135k. So it's not that bad if you ask me. At least this whole thing still helped me solve some problem in the house. I could be able to stock my home with food, you know, do some little things, achieve some things. And by the way, congratulations to me. I've cleared my fair money debt. I finished clearing it this last week that just passed. Hallelujah. It wasn't easy. Over 250k cleared, about 200, not almost 300k cleared. Thank God, though, from ride sharing, I was able to raise the money. So for those asking me if it's still worth driving, well, I guess the ball is in your court. You decide for yourself, depending on how long you want to stay online. You've seen what I was able to make. However, I always encourage drivers to always, increase their skill level so they can earn more in different aspects of life. Try to learn new skill. Do not depend totally on driving. It's not exactly a fantastic way to make money because you are constantly at risk of an accident, of different harassment on the road. And Lagos State here is not easy to drive, and I'm sure it's not easy to drive any other states around the world because driving really consumes a lot of energy. You may feel I'm just sitting down, but I must tell you why I reduce my driving time is anytime I drive so long, I always have this lower back pain. So I always try to stretch, to relieve myself of those stress on my back. I always try to do exercise. I try to stay fit as much as possible. So try to expand your knowledge, learn new skills so that you can, anytime you have better opportunity to earn, you can be off the road and make more money. So that is it. It's not that bad in 2022 what you can still make on Uber. I just shared it. So some people can still have the energy to do 12 hours online, fine. So anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think you still want to give it a shot to drive? If you've been driving, if you're driving currently, how is your experience? What do you average in a week? What platform do you drive mostly with? So share your thoughts in the comment section. I believe every other person out there is willing to hear other drivers talk and hear from their own standpoint, and learn one or two things. So that is my own experience driving in Lagos. And I hope you guys got one or two things from this video. I will see you guys in another video. Peace, stay safe.
Mentors don't tell me I go find work. They say by driving not go pay. I'm on a very long trip.